Hey guys, Rominating Reaper here. So as you can see, it's Saturday. It's a fairly good day. So of course I'm going to be spending it in the cinema. Why? Well, that's about to be disclosed. Yep, I'm about to head in to see Disclosure Day, the new film from the man himself, Steven Spielberg. Yeah, been really looking forward to this. One of my most anticipated films of the year. Spielberg doing a new original sci-fi blockbuster, and one about aliens at that. And they stacked cast. Yeah, this was one absolutely I was not going to miss for the world. But the only way to find out if Spielberg still has the juice is to head in, get some snacks, and get seated for Disclosure Day. So yeah, I've got my popcorn here with the Cadbury Buttons toppers and my Fanta, ready for the latest mystery from Steven goddamn Spielberg. So, Disclosure Day. I am back from seeing it. This, of course, is the latest film to be directed by the one and only Steven Spielberg. The film is also written by David Koepp, who has previously collaborated with Spielberg on films such as Jurassic Park, War of the Worlds, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Ironically, two of those three heavily involve aliens, just like this one. So look, Spielberg is one of those filmmakers who, anytime he has a new film in the works, I'm automatically there. No questions asked, he is and always will be that guy. Especially when he's bringing us an original sci-fi blockbuster like this. But does Spielberg still have the juice to deliver exciting blockbuster scale entertainment? Let's find out. So in the film, cybersecurity expert Daniel Kellner steals a series of classified files from top-secret organization Vortex, run by the shady Noah Scanlon. He quickly finds himself on the run, with Vortex pursuing him in search of what he stole. But Kellner soon discovers that there's more at play than he initially suspected, as he and Kansas-based meteorologist Margaret Fairchild find themselves at the center of a global conspiracy, as the pair quickly set out on one simple mission: to deliver full disclosure of the truth to the entire world. So, given all the mystery and intrigue surrounding the film, the end result was always going to prompt quite a wide range of reactions, and judging by some of the responses I've seen online, yeah, it kind of already has. But me, myself, in the middle of all of this, I was sat there watching the film, and only one thought crossed my mind: that the GOAT has still got it. So rather than it being the sort of crazy sci-fi spectacle that you might have expected it to be, Spielberg instead moves it in a totally different direction, instead opting to present it as a slow burn, paranoid conspiracy thriller, one that just so happens to have sci-fi elements, a key one being a MacGuffin in the form of a mysterious alien device. It's a film that very much takes its time building up a sense of mystery and intrigue, slowly drip-feeding us new bits of information like pieces to a jigsaw puzzle, taking its time building to the big reveals. And yet, it never feels slow or plodding, thanks to the smart decision to frame it through the lens of a chase movie, very much keeping the film on its feet and consistently building momentum in a way that is just immensely compelling to watch. And that energy is complemented with some, really thrillingly staged action scenes. There's a car chase at one point, and there's a particularly suspenseful highlight in a scene on a train. Absolutely incredible stuff. And it is more than reliably handled in a way you'd expect from a master filmmaker like Spielberg. He's also able to use some of his go-to guys to really build that atmosphere. Obviously, Janusz Kaminski is the cinematographer here, and his bright, high contrast visuals really complement the otherworldly mystery of the film. And of course, John Williams does the score, and look, it's a John Williams score. It's as every bit as great as you'd expect. He's able to, build a sense of suspense and tension, but at the same time is able to create real wonder and awe, in a way that only John Williams can. Like honestly, I sat all the way through the credits just to hear that score because this could well be the last time we get a John Williams score, and I'm absolutely going to relish it. Now, admittedly, it's not all perfect from a technical standpoint. There's a couple spotty visual effect shots here. There's a couple CGI animals that do kind of stick out. But where you really feel the Spielbergian influence of the film is in how it approaches the quite thoughtful ideas and themes around the larger mystery. The big question that drives the film is how would humanity react in the face of world-changing revelations? Very much, particularly approaching it from the perspective of belief, using religion to explore, how these established institutions that we already know would be challenged in the face of such revelations. He's able to approach it from a really emotionally empathetic standpoint and also weave in some surprising moments of humor as well. But, what really drives it is that human scale core, which is sold by a set of great performances. Like, obviously, Emily Blunt in particular is phenomenal as Margaret. She's a character who has all these mysterious occurrences happen to her, and the film is able to mine it for comedy, as in some early scenes with her boyfriend Jackson, played by Wyatt Russell, but at the same time is able to mine it for suspense and also some genuine pathos, which Blunt more than reliably carries. She is phenomenal here. Josh O'Connor is also great as Daniel Kellner, who's this, kind of paranoid, tech savvy guy who very much finds himself at the center of this conspiracy, but also finds himself a sort of key driving force in some big emotional moments later on. And he is great, as is Eve Hewson as his girlfriend Jane. I also really enjoyed Colin Firth's role as Noah Scanlon, the villain of the piece. And obviously, yes, he's very much the kind of presence that is, on the surface stoic and commanding, but also has not quite sympathetic, but definitely tragic layers to him. He's a lot more than just evil business guy in suit, and Firth absolutely crushes it. Coleman Domingo is also great as Hugo, a Vortex mole, who very much is the driving force of this righteous mission in pursuit of the truth, and he has the charisma to really carry it. Again, it's Coleman Domingo. He is great. Also, In-Betweeners fans, keep an eye out for Donovan, because he is in the film as well. But yeah, everyone is great, and it really sells that human scale, empathetic, emotional core, and it makes it all the more engaging to watch as it slowly builds to the big reveals of the final act, which is where the film really comes into its element, delivering those big reveals with that really classic Spielbergian sense of wonder, but also is able to deliver some really genuinely touching emotional moments as well. It is just an absolute wild ride. Like, you'll pay for the whole seat, but by the end of the film, all you'll need is the edge. It is incredible. And while the ending is perhaps a little bit abrupt, I still had an absolute blast with that final third of the film. It is just incredible stuff that you gotta experience on the big screen, and it's exactly what we come to Steven Spielberg films for. Overall, Disclosure Day is an incredibly compelling and thoughtful thriller, delivering those trademark elements of wonder, but also grounding its sci-fi spectacle in a genuine, human sense of emotion, carried along by great performances. Out of 10, Disclosure Day gets an 8.5. So, let me know down in the comments, have you seen Disclosure Day? What did you think of it? Because obviously this has prompted quite a mix of reactions. I'd definitely like to hear what side of the divide you're on. What did you think of the film's big reveals? Without getting into spoilers, of course. And what would you like to see Spielberg tackle next? Would you like to see that Western film that he's apparently making? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.